In October 2024, condo owners at a North York building on Wilson Avenue received a notice that stopped them cold. Their property management company informed them that fixing the building's parking garage could cost every single unit owner $70,000 each, not as part of their regular monthly fees, not spread over years, as a one-time bill due soon. One owner, Lee Gang-guo, told CP24 he doesn't even have a parking spot in that garage. He still got the bill. And here's the thing, this wasn't a one-off story. Across Ontario, BC, and Alberta right now, condo owners are waking up to the same reality, fees they never expected for problems that were decades in the making. So today, we're breaking down exactly why Canada's condo fee situation is getting worse fast, and what countries in Europe have been doing for years that we're completely ignoring.
Let's start with where things actually stand right now. According to data from Eli Report, which tracks roughly 8,000 condo communities across Canada, Ontario condo owners are paying the highest fees in the country, on average around $730 a month per unit as of early 2025. That's nearly $200 more per month than the average in BC or Alberta. And fees are going up across the board. In Toronto specifically, condo fees can run between $300 and $900 a month, depending on the building, and TRREB data from Q1 2025 shows that units charging over $1 per square foot in monthly fees are sitting on the market 20% longer than comparable units. Construction costs, which directly affect what it costs to fix a building when something breaks, are up 40% since 2020, according to market analysis from Altus Group. Ontario hydro rates went up 4.8% as of November 2024 per the Ontario Energy Board. Toronto water rates went up 3.5% in the city's 2025 budget. Everything that goes into running and repairing a condo building costs more than it did 2 years ago, so monthly fees are climbing. And the boards are not keeping up. That's where the real story starts.
Here's the thing, most first-time condo buyers don't know until it's too late. Every condo building in Canada is supposed to maintain something called a reserve fund, basically a savings account set aside specifically for big repairs, replacing the roof, fixing the elevators, resurfacing the parking garage, upgrading the HVAC systems. The idea is simple. You put money away every month, and when something major needs fixing, the money is there. Except in a huge percentage of Canadian buildings, that money is not there. In September 2024, the Condominium Authority of Ontario released the findings of a major reserve fund survey. The data came after the province's own Auditor General found in a 2024 report that 69% of condo corporations in Ontario lack adequate reserve funds for major repairs. That's not a small building here and there. That's nearly 7 out of every 10 condo buildings in the province running on a financial plan that isn't going to hold. In British Columbia, the situation is arguably worse. Eli Report estimates that approximately 135,000 BC strata owners will face a special levy averaging close to $7,500 per unit in 2025 alone, because their contingency reserves were never properly funded to begin with. And this isn't a new problem that suddenly appeared. According to the Association of Condominium Managers of Ontario, every condo building is going to face a reserve fund contribution increase, typically between 30% and 50% when their next reserve fund study gets updated to reflect actual current construction costs. That's not a maybe, that's what the math says is coming. Meanwhile, there's no legal cap on how much a condo board can raise your monthly fees. In Ontario, as of 2024, there are no limits on fee increases. Your board votes on the annual budget, fees go up to match it. Owners pay or face a lien on their unit. And when the reserve fund runs dry completely, the board doesn't wait for a vote from owners. Under Ontario condo law, boards can charge a special assessment without getting permission from unit owners. You just get the bill. The June 2024 case outside Ottawa said it clearly. 5 condo buildings from the 1980s, leaky roofs, crumbling walkways. The condo corporation asked owners for up to $20,000 each for emergency repairs. According to CBC News, the total repair bill hit $600,000. In a Calgary condo in June 2023, that number was $500,000 total for the building. In Edmonton in December 2023, it was $12,000 per unit for 44 owners after fire damage exposed foundation problems. These aren't horror stories. These are regular buildings. The difference between a good outcome and a $70,000 surprise is almost entirely about how the building was financially managed from day one.
So now the comparison people rarely make. In Germany, every condo owner pays something called Hausgeld. Translated literally, it means house money. It covers operating costs, insurance, management fees, and most importantly, a mandatory contribution to the long-term maintenance reserve, which the Germans call the Instandhaltungsrücklage. What's different about the German approach isn't just the name, it's the structure behind it. Under Germany's Condominium Act, every building is required to maintain a long-term maintenance plan, sometimes looking 20 to 30 years into the future, and the reserve fund contributions are calculated against that plan. When owners meet annually to approve the building's budget, the reserve fund projection is laid out line by line. Owners can see exactly what's being saved, what it's being saved for, and when it will be spent. Instead of letting boards defer maintenance until it becomes an emergency, the German system builds the cost of future repairs into today's fees, predictably year by year. According to Investropa's September 2025 analysis of the German market, Hausgeld typically runs between €2.50 and €4 per square meter monthly, with annual increases of 3 to 7% that owners can plan for in advance. Special levies still happen in Germany, they're called Sonderumlagen, but they're far less common because the reserve fund is treated as a baseline requirement, not an afterthought. The Netherlands operates similarly through an organization called VVE, the Vereniging van Eigenaren, or Owners Association. Every apartment owner in a shared building contributes monthly toward maintenance and reserves, and they receive an annual statement showing exactly where the money went and whether anything extra is owed. The core difference between European and Canadian condo finance is this. In Germany and the Netherlands, the reserve fund is the starting point of the budget. In most Canadian buildings, it's what's left over after everything else gets paid. The idea isn't complicated. What Germany and the Netherlands do, building long-term maintenance plans into mandatory annual owner meetings, requiring transparent reserve fund reporting at every budget cycle, treating future repair costs as a present-day line item, that infrastructure already partially exists in Ontario. The Condominium Act already requires reserve fund studies every 3 years. The problem is execution. The 2024 Auditor General's findings showed that boards are either not following through, not updating projections for actual construction cost inflation, or quietly setting contributions too low to keep monthly fees attractive to buyers in the short term. The ACMO, the Association of Condominium Managers of Ontario, put it plainly in a 2024 report. Condo buildings that are behind on their reserve funding will find the situation compounding. Every year they defer, the required catch-up grows. A buyer who walks into a building with a healthy, well-documented reserve fund today is in a completely different financial position than someone who buys into a building that's been underfunding for 10 years. The fees might look lower on paper until the parking garage falls apart. Right now in Canada, condo fee increases of 10 to 15% per year are being reported in some Ontario buildings just to catch up on reserve fund shortfalls that built up over a decade. In BC, 135,000 owners are staring down special levies averaging $7,500 this year alone. Construction costs have risen 40% since 2020, and there is no ceiling on what your board can charge. The European model doesn't eliminate these problems overnight, but it starts from a different place, one where the long-term cost of owning the building is built into the price of owning a unit from day one. Transparent, planned, not a surprise. Everyone watching the Canadian housing market right now, buyers, investors, renters deciding whether to buy, is going to feel the weight of these reserve fund decisions in the years ahead. The question is whether Canadian condo governance catches up before more owners get a $70,000 letter they never saw coming.
If you found this useful, hit subscribe. We cover housing market data, policy changes, and real numbers every week. See you next time.